On my last foraging excursion, I found this wonderful stone which is going to make an excellent bearing block, but it needs a little bit of modification. Now, bearing block I've been using for years, this stone I found has a somewhat larger hole. Very similar size, very similar shape, very similar thickness. You can see why I was so excited about this stone. Now, I found another one that's a little blockier, but it's still got a really nice shape to it, and I've started to make this into a bearing block as well. I'm going to take you through the process I used for this. Now, this had a little bit of a divot already in it, and it's a basalt. It's a reasonably hard stone. I've got a flake of black basalt here. We'll use this for flint knapping. It's not great for it, but it makes passable tools. It's what my hand axe from the spear harvesting video is made out of. Now, the point on this is good for roughing out a surface. You can also do what's called pecking, which is just a lot of this. Makes that really annoying sound. But you can see the white powder in here. If it'll focus. Hopefully you can see there's that white dust in there. That is the stone being worn down. But you do that for hours and hours and hours, and you'll wear away that stone. It'll be a little rough. It'll give you a headache. My preferred method for making a bearing block is to do this. We got the stone here. I've got my bow drill with an old spindle that's been worn out. We're going to take a little bit of water, pour it in that divot. We're going to take a little bit of sand, mixed grain and consistency. The gravel is fine in there. It's not going to hurt or hinder. I take the previous bearing block. I'm going to pin that with my toes, and we're going to work that into a slurry. A few passes like that. Fresh sand. Rinse and repeat. Use our wet slurry. You can see that it wears the spindle down pretty quickly. Now, that's an important detail. You don't want to use a brand new fresh spindle for this. You want to use something that's you're not going to use to make your fire. Using an old worn out spindle ensures that you have a finished hole, a finished divot that is the right size for your preferred spindle size. And it's going to be a little bit of time, a little bit of labor, but you can see, hopefully see, that even just a few passes like that has scratched and scuffed that hole and is making it rounder. I'm going to keep at this. It'll probably take an hour, hour and a half maybe to get it where I want it, to get that nice depth like in this one. Once that one's finished, I'll start working on the other one the same way. With that wet sand slurry, you can actually cut out even very hard stones. It just takes longer. You want a softer wood, not like oak like this or something hard. You want something that's going to wear out, but as it wears out, it's going to grip the sand and make sort of a self-refreshing sandpaper. With that method, you can drill holes in hardwood, you can drill holes in bone, you can drill holes in antler, or even stone. It just takes some time and some patience and a little bit of bicep work. But it's a good trick to know. We got a good amount of reshaping done on this. The hole's a little wider, a little deeper. It's gonna fit pretty well. So let's give it a try. So hopefully you've been able to see how a little bit of wet sand can take a natural rock like this and turn it into a useful tool. Now, you don't need a stone bearing block like this. There are other things you can use, like antler, bone, mussel shells, like clam shells, things like that work pretty well. Even a hard piece of wood carved to the right shape can work. I've seen instances of people using a thick piece of leather as sort of a disposable socket bearing block. Now, stone is my preference. With the stone, especially once it's been used a little bit, it sort of polishes and you get a very low friction socket. A piece like this that fits your hand well is comfortable to use with the socket nicely centered. It allows you to really control the pressure that you put down on the point of friction, and as you can see with the test ember, having an efficient bearing block is a great addition to your friction fire kit, your bow drill kit. Now, I would like to point out that pecking and grinding like this, though it is absolutely a process that can be used to make tools, it's the same process in a different shape to make an axe like these. A little bit more time, but the same process. This is not what I would call a wilderness survival skill. This is a tool building skill. This is something that our ancestors would have done at the cave before they went out hunting. They wouldn't just go out, pick up a stone out of the creek and sit there on the side of the creek and make this with the expectation of using it that evening. It's a slow process, and the harder the stone, the slower it is. Now, grinding and shaping stone with sand like that is an absolutely ancient technique. It's very effective. It is worth knowing, but I wouldn't depend on it to improve your toolkit on the trail unless you're going to be out for a long time from a set camp and you've got a couple hours a night for a long period to focus on that. Just expanding and evening out the hole in this bearing block, deepening the depth of it a little bit, took 45 minutes. Now, the amount of material I removed in that 45 minutes is millimeters. It's really very little. It's just an adjustment of the shape of this stone, the naturally occurring shape. To fully reshape a stone into a complete tool is going to take you a lot of time. But that said, it is worth trying out. It's very easy to do at home, and I would say if you want to improve your friction fire kit, absolutely give this a shot. In the not too distant future here, we'll be putting this bearing block to work, and we'll be showing you how to use it in your bow drill kit to get your fire, which, once you've got that made, is absolutely something that you want to bring with on the trail, and you can improve as you go. Thanks for watching.